Hello, I'm Sensei Alex Kakuyo, North American contributor for Buddhist Global. Thanks for joining me for this episode of The Ordinary Buddhist. The title of today's Dharma talk is Taking the Fruit of the Dharma. Before we get into that, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I post talks in the future. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that'd be great too. When I was a child, it was very important to my parents that we eat our fruits and our vegetables. So there was always a basket on our dining room table filled with apples and oranges, bananas, pears, etc. And we weren't allowed to snack, per se, on anything unhealthy, but if we wanted something in between meals, we were encouraged to get something from the fruit bowl. Every now and then, however, my mom would come into the living room with a dire warning, telling us that we needed to hurry up and eat all of the oranges, or all of the grapes, as an example, because they were starting to go bad. And usually in those cases, we would each go into the dining room, grab a piece of fruit, and try to empty out the bowl before she went grocery shopping again. But every now and then, we weren't fast enough, and the fruit did indeed go bad. It would start to spoil, brown spots would appear on the pears and the apples, for example, gnats would fly around, and unfortunately, we'd have to throw a lot of the fruit away. And then my mom would buy less fruit the next week, and we'd all get upset because we didn't get enough apples, and then she'd buy more, and the cycle would repeat throughout my childhood. The point here is that if you have fresh fruit, it doesn't stay fresh for long, so you have to eat it quickly. And if you do, you're rewarded with a tasty, nutritious treat. Thankfully, the fruit of the Dharma lasts a little bit longer than apples and oranges. However, it's still important that we grab onto it quickly whenever it's available. Not because it'll go bad per se, but because we may miss our opportunity. These human lives are short, and we're not guaranteed a human rebirth. So it is incumbent on us to take advantage of this human life to practice the Dharma as often and as hard as we can. Now, of course, this does not mean that we should spend every moment of our day chanting or meditating or reading sutras. It does, however, mean that we should look for opportunities to incorporate the Dharma into everyday life. As Buddhists, our goal is to end suffering for ourselves and for others, and our daily activities provide ample opportunity to do that. Perhaps we practice the Dharma by taking out the trash, even though it's not our turn. Perhaps we practice the Dharma by picking up dinner on the way home so our spouse doesn't have to cook. Or by taking the kids outside if they start bouncing off the walls. By looking for small ways to end suffering for ourselves or others in our daily lives, we practice the Dharma, even in those moments when we're not technically practicing. And in doing so, by grabbing hold of the fruit of the Dharma when it's available, on those times when it's not available, we can fall back on those lessons we've learned and use them to help us in moments of difficulty. By taking advantage of the fruit when it's there, we can ensure a nutritious spiritual treat for ourselves and others. Amitabha.